This is as good a day as any to start the rebuilding of life. The roads that lay open are many when the old one's gone under the knife. And I can feel the sun on my skin, beginning to thaw from within. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today is a good day to live. This morning has a clearer light as any to see the horizon in the far. Excuses were 2 for a penny, but they've all gone out the window of this car. And when I feel the wind on my face, all that ever was is a wreck. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today, well, something's gotta give. Today is a good day. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today, well, something's gotta give. Today is a good day to tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today, well, something's gotta give. Today is a good day. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today.
Can you feel it? Now it's coming back, we can steal it. If we bridge this gap, I can see you through the curtains of the waterfall. When I lost it, yeah, you held my head, but I tossed it. Didn't understand you were waiting as I dove into the waterfall. So say Geronimo, say Geronimo, say Geronimo, say Geronimo, say Geronimo, say Geronimo, say Geronimo. Can you feel my love?
Bombs away, bombs away, bombs away. Can you feel my love? Bombs away, bombs away, bombs away.
Well, we rushed it, moving way too fast, and we crushed it. But it's in the past. We can make this slip through the curtains of the waterfall. So say Geronimo, say Geronimo, say Geronimo, say Geronimo, say Geronimo, say Geronimo, say Geronimo. Can you feel my love?
Bombs away, bombs away, bombs away.
Can you feel my love?
Bombs away, bombs away, bombs away.
Well, I'm just a boy with a broken toy, all lost and coy.
The curtains of the wall.
So it's here I stand as a broken man, but I found my friend at the
Curtains of the wall.
Now I'm falling down through the crashing sound, and you've come around.
Curtains of the wall.
And you rush to me, and it sets us free. So I fall to my knees.
To the waterfall.
So say Geronimo, say Geronimo, say Geronimo, say Geronimo, say Geronimo, say Geronimo, say Geronimo. Can you feel my love?
Sounds away, sounds away, sounds away.
Make this slip, make this slip. Yeah, we can make this slip, make this slip. Can you feel my love?
Good morning, everybody. Oh, do we not have volume? Can you hear me? Check, check. Okay, there we go. Let me know if you can hear me in the live chat, please. We just completely redid our studio and just want to make sure that you can hear me. The audio is completely different. As you know, we've had audio problems in the past, but they should be all resolved now. So just give me a one up. Traveling Johnson say they can hear me. Excellent. Welcome back to the Destinations channel. I'm Sal Patera, and Debbie is not with us today, but she sends her regards and wants to say hi to everybody. We're going to wait just a couple of minutes while we wait for some more people to file in. I see not very many people are watching on YouTube, but we do have abundance of people watching on Facebook. We are going to do trivia today. So if you want to play trivia, you need to be watching us actually on YouTube. So click the YouTube link where you're watching. If you don't have a link in the group that you're watching from, you can go to youtubedestinations.com. That will take you directly to our channel. And the reason for that is if you're watching on Facebook, I can't see your name when you put an answer in to know if you have a correct answer or not. So wait just a couple of minutes and a couple seconds rather, and then we'll get started. Put a little music on there. Let's see, we have Ron. Hey Ron, how are you? The Traveling Johnsons, as always. The Grays are here. Ken Pasco, Michelle Wadler, excuse me, am I saying that correct? Turn my mic up a little. That might be a little bit better. Okay, well, let's turn that off. We'll put that on instead. So if you're new to our channel or you're just stopping by, make sure you click that subscribe button and the little bell notification. That way YouTube will let you know every time we upload a brand new video. So my question is, how does the new audio sound? We were extremely lucky to come across Sweetwater, which is an audio company and visual company, who has helped me completely redo the studio. Behind me, visually, as far as the aesthetics of the studio, look pretty much the same, but what you are not seeing is new cameras, new microphone system, We have a new audio pad, thousands and thousands worth of dollars worth of equipment to revamp the studio, make sure everything sounds better, looks better, and hopefully we've done a good job with that. We do have Samson in the background. Over here. Sorry, I forgot everything's mirrored. Samson over here, our mascot. Samson, you gonna say hi today? Hey, buddy. Turn around so everybody can see you. There he is. He's thinking about it. Okay, we do have a special guest with us today. We're going to bring him right now. It's Tom Tidal. Hey, Tom.
G'day, Sal. How are you?
I'm very well. Pardon me. Got something in my throat all of a sudden. So Tom is not from America. He's from another place that we cruise, which I really want to go to. Tom, where are you at this morning or this evening?
Well, right now it's just gone 1 a.m. and on Sunday morning, and we're in Port Douglas, which is in far north Queensland. And some of our members in our cruise group have actually been up this way, and we've seen them here in Port Douglas, and it's really great to catch up with members when you've got a cruise group running. Sal?
Before we start, Tom, can you take a second and go to your group and approve my post so that your members can watch the video?
Yeah, sure. Just to check.
I just put a thing in there for your members to see it. So Tom's in Australia, where we love to cruise from. And I have some big news regarding Carnival and me, which I'm going to go over a little later on in the show. But Tom runs an awesome Facebook group, which I will put, it's not in there right now because I didn't have time to do the links yet. But when you're done watching this, there'll be links to everything we talk about, including Tom's Australian Cruise Facebook group, which we partner with our Facebook group, in the description of this video. I urge you to take a minute and go over there and subscribe or join his group, rather. Lots of great conversation regarding cruising. It's not just about cruising in Australia as well. It's a fantastic group. I'm there every day, and it's you'll learn a lot of information. Also, if you're not part of our Facebook group, I'll put a link down there as well. We have almost 700,000 members, all Carnival cruisers who discuss cruising all day long. So tonight or this morning rather, we are going to do a few things. We're going to watch a couple of short videos. We're also going to talk about, and this is a video I've shared before, but lots of people have asked me for it. We're going to share a series of videos about cruising during hurricane season, now that hurricane season is amongst us. So Tom, let's talk about you. First, let's talk about Australia, because as I told you, I've been dying to get down there. So tell me a little bit about where you live and what makes it unique and what cruising is like down there.
Sure. Well, Port Douglas is a small community, Sal. It's got a population of about 5,500 people. That's permanent residents, but we swell up to anything up to 100,000 people during our tourist season. It's a very popular destination for both Australian and international visitors, and it's a beautiful part of the world. If you can imagine, a beach-clad area with palm trees swaying, the normal tropical vibe that you sort of conjure up when you think of maybe Hawaii. Well, that's what we like here. In fact, we have a lot of people come here from Hawaii on holidays, and they say it just reminds them of home. But I guess one of the unusual things about here is not very far from where we live, we have a resident crocodile. He's around about 2 meters long, and he lives in one of our local creeks. We leave him alone, he leaves us alone, thank goodness. But we also have wild dingoes, which is an animal that was introduced by Aboriginal people to Australia many, many years ago. And they roam not through the main streets of Port Douglas, but they're in and around the Port Douglas and Mossman area.
Do babies go missing regularly?
Oh yeah, they're there most of the time.
I don't know if Seinfeld down there, but that's a thing up here. The dingo.
Yeah, we see them more this time of the year because they during the winter they hide in amongst all the sugarcane and have their pups there and what have you. But the rest of the time when it's harvested, you see them roaming around, and we leave them alone, and they tend to leave us alone, which is good.
Are they friendly?
Nah, they're shy. yeah, I wouldn't approach one. But they're shy. You can't pat them like an ordinary dog or anything like that. And the interesting thing is they don't bark; they howl.
Really?
So you know when they're around. But I guess the other thing that people probably know about with us here is that we've got the wonderful Daintree rainforest just north of us here, which is World Heritage listed. It's absolutely beautiful. So if any of our American friends are ever up that way, please make sure you go and have a look at the Daintree. It's really worth seeing. Cape Tribulation, Sal, which is to our north, it has the rainforest coming down and meeting the sea. Absolutely beautiful place to have a picnic, barbecue.
I
It's
never
a
knew there
great
was a
area.
rainforest in Australia.
What's that, mate?
I never knew there was a rainforest in Australia.
Yeah, well, we used to have a lot more, but a lot of it's been used up over the years with development and what
Yeah,
have you. But
unfortunately.
yeah, but that's all worldwide, isn't it?
Yep.
But yeah, cruising. Look, I started cruising. I used to be a school teacher and a school principal for 40 or 50 years. And I started my cruising life back in Sydney when I was living there. And I was about 23 at the stage, and I won second prize in the lottery, which gave me quite a large amount of money in those days. And I was so excited, thought, what can I do? And I thought, I'm going to go on a cruise. And it was my very first cruise. And it was on a Russian ship called the Felix Dzerzhinsky. It was the only one available out of Sydney at that time of the year. And it was a really old battleship. And yeah, we had a lot of fun on there. A mate and I got on there with a box of beers, and in those days I didn't care how many beers you bought on board, you just bought on as many as you like. Conditions were very different in those days. Anyway, the cruise itself, it was a 3.5 day cruise to nowhere. That's what it was called. And we got up off Brisbane and we struck the tail end of a cyclone, and the ship's stabilizers had broken. So we were caught in this cyclone, and I vowed and declared I was never going to go cruising again after that. But then, of course, I met my lovely wife, Sandy, and that changed everything. She talked me into it, and we started cruising properly in 2019 on a P&O. P&O, I'm not sure whether your viewers over there would be familiar with P&O, would they? Sure. Yeah, P&O Australia. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we went on this beautiful old ship called the Pacific Eden. We cruised out of Adelaide and went over to Port Lincoln, which is a beautiful area too in Australia, which is right down south, and across to Kangaroo Island, which is another famous area in Australia. People, if you come down under, please make sure you do the southern areas as well as the north, because there's so much in Australia to see. We're a diverse country. We're roughly the same size as the USA, but we have, like you guys, we have many climates and worth seeing the whole lot. But yeah, so we've been cruising ever since. We've been on lots of cruises with a variety of cruise lines. Some of our favourites are obviously Carnival, and we also enjoy Princess Cruises. There's what we would like to see down here, Solo, are more cruise ships, and bigger ones and newer ones, because Australia has always had to put up with some of the old cruise ships that some of them are getting a little bit old and a little bit outdated. But yeah, we like the Carnival Luminosa. It's a beautiful ship. Even though it's an old ship, it's great. And it's got all those great Carnival features on there as well, Sal, which is great. One thing I'd like to bring up, and I hope you don't mind, is the coffee situation.
Yeah, absolutely. We were talking about this a little bit off camera, and yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about that. Well, let's talk about. Let's start with, before we talk about the coffee in general. Let's talk about the VIFP program first, and explain why things are happening. Just in case anybody's watching who's new to Carnival or hasn't cruised, Carnival for about 30 years have had a loyalty program, and about 15, 20 years ago, it evolved in what they call the VIFP program, which is the very important fun person program. And it used to be based on how many days you sailed with Carnival. excuse me, initially it was how many cruises you've taken with Carnival. And it's different levels of loyalty, which got you perks as you traveled on board. And these perks were supposed to last you for the rest of your life, depending on how many cruises you'd taken with Carnival altogether. And then roughly about 15 years ago, Carnival changed that program and took it away from how many cruises you had with Carnival and changed it to how many days you had sailed with Carnival. And it started out with gold and I don't remember the first gold and silver, I believe, and then it went to platinum and then diamond being the ultimate level over 200 days sailed. And depending on what level that you were on, and I might be wrong about the levels, sorry guys. Depending on what level you're on, you would receive more perks such as priority boarding, gifts on board, private parties, things of that nature. And a lot of people cruised Carnival specifically to get these loyalty perks, because not only do you get the perks, you also get a special sail and sign card that shows what level you're on, just gives you kind of status on board the cruise ship. Well, about a month and a half ago, Carnival has changed the rules again. They are getting rid of the Carnival VIP program completely and changing it what they're calling Carnival Perks, I believe. And it's going to be based on the dollar amount you spend on Carnival as an overall, from your ticketing to onboard expenses. I believe even the Carnival credit card gets you points. And you have to re-qualify for those same levels every year. So if you were platinum or diamond, had a large stature with Carnival, and you stop spending a lot of money on Carnival, you will lose those status points. Now, Carnival did give a grace period for platinum and diamond, I believe, so you'll maintain them for a couple of years, but after that, you'll have to re-qualify. And along with that, Carnival is now changing some of the programs as far as the Cheers package program, the Bubbles program. They're adding a package, and I think that's where we're going with Tom. So go ahead, Tom, take it away. Tell us about the coffee.
Yeah, look, I think as most Carnival people know, that they really enjoy getting their various drink packages. But the one that's upset a lot of Australians is the fact that specialty coffees and teas aren't going to be made available in the Zero package. And it's available in America, but it's not available in Australia. And I was telling Sal about this before. This happens down under in a lot of areas. It's not just cruising, but we seem to be a little bit disadvantaged, and we'd like to see that anomaly addressed by Princess Cruises. I've reached out to John Heald already, trying to get his okay to do this. And so we'll just wait and see. But if it could be addressed, we'd really appreciate it.
And see, I was unaware that it was just, and forgive me, I should have done some research. I was unaware that it was just Australia. So it is available from America on American cruises?
Apparently so, yes.
Huh. That does seem very odd. I mean, it's coffee. Well, I don't understand. I mean, the price of the package is the same. So yeah, that does seem very odd. I'm going to reach out to some people I know and get an official comment on that as well. Because yeah, I know if it was here in America and that happened, I know Americans would be just as upset because we like our coffee too. Excuse me.
Yeah, we certainly do. But if that could be addressed, that would be wonderful, Sal. And look, I guess most people understand there's a bit of penny pinching going on at the moment in all businesses, and that's understandable. And
particularly on the cruise line industry.
Sure,
gotta watch
sure.
what I say there for that, but yeah, it has become a penny pinching industry, that's for sure.
Yeah, so I guess we just like to see the beards, the decision makers sort of start to look at cruising again like it was originally done, giving as much value back to the passenger as they can, but mindful of the fact of today's, I guess, economic climate is very, very different too.
I agree, totally. Tom, I'm going to play a short video and I'm going to come right back.
Okay.
Hey, everybody, it's Kindle Fire here, and today there was a big announcement made about our brand new ship coming out in 2027, the Carnival Festival. I'm going to take you guys around our ship here on the Jubilee and show you the biggest differences between what's been announced and what we have here, so let's take a look. The first big change you're going to see is here at the bar on Deck 6, just outside of Grand Central and Center Stage. On board our ship, it is the Golden Mermaid, but on the Festival, this is going to be Alchemy Bar, everyone's favorite cocktail bar, and unlike on the other XL class ships, where it's up on Deck 7, we've moved it down here to increase the space for you to enjoy those molecular mixtures and also give you a chance to enjoy some live music, good vibes, and good times. The next big change is here on Deck 6 and 7 in the promenades. This is our two-story area with lots of interactive and fun features. And here on board the Jubilee, it's called the Currents because our ship is all underwater based. But the festival is all going to be about music. And that's why this entire area is going to be music based and called Studio 724. The very first big change you're going to see here is at this bar. On board the Jubilee, it's Dr. Inks, but on the festival, it's going to be on this side based on the renderings, and it's going to be called the Spark, featuring delicious cocktails. And not only is there one musical theme bar, there is two. Upstairs, where Alchemy Bar is here on Jubilee, and our other XL class ship, this is going to be a new themed bar called At Mix, featuring drinks like synth and hi-fi, but they're all going to be delicious nonetheless. And if you move further into this corridor, just like we have here on board, these beautiful interactive screens, the entire two-story promenade is going to be interactive, musical-based, where the actual lights and screens are going to coexist with the music, and the vibe is all going to come together in one great big family fun moment. The last big update for Festival that differs from the other XL class ships, which you probably already heard about, is our huge expansion to our ultimate playground and adventure park. Not only are we going to have brand new water slides, because Carnival Waterworks Ultra is going to be available only on Festival, featuring racing slides and family raft rides. You also got a chance to head over here and enjoy some beautiful views at our brand new bar, which is going to be called the Scenic Overlook, which hangs out just below our ultimate playground here, and it's going to have a chance for the kids to hang out at a treehouse and toddler playground, featuring delicious views and so much family fun. So what are you waiting for? Availability has now been published. Go and check out the festival and enjoy the views. We'll see you there.
What do you think?
Wow. Fantastic.
I got to say, and I'm probably wrong. Let me go back when the Mardi Gras was being advertised, when we were all locked down during COVID, and they were talking about the roller coaster on board. I was against it. I didn't think people would ride it. I was afraid that people would get sick on it and make a mess to the people that were riding underneath. And boy, was I wrong. It's one of the most popular things on board the Mardi Gras and the celebration. But I kind of feel like the same way about the water park that I felt back then. I feel like if you look at the water parks now, they're underused. They're mostly for the kids. And I feel like you're taking a huge part of the ship that I don't know if will get used with putting a giant water park on board a cruise ship. What do you think?
Well, I'll certainly be using them.
You do the slides?
Yeah, of course. I love the slides.
I've never gone on a Carnival slide.
Oh, you've got to try it. It's just look, if you don't do things in life that you just keep putting off and off and off, you're going to miss out on a lot of fun. I can assure you. Just get in and have a go.
I will say I've always wanted to try one of those drop slides that drops you like straight down. I guess I'm just too much of a wuss.
You mean the bungee jumping?
No, I have bungee jump when I was in the Navy. Funny story, I went bungee jumping on base, and it was from a hot air balloon. So they tether a hot air balloon to the ground so that it can only go up so high, so they know the distance. And you bungee jump off the basket of the hot air balloon. And I went up with several friends, and they bungee jumped, and there was several more on board. It was my turn, and they had like a little opening. They tied the things to your legs, and I went like this, and you're supposed to fall backwards. And I got to the edge, and Tom, I just couldn't do it. For the life of me, I just couldn't fall backwards. And just then, one of my best friends just gave me a little push. And there I went.
That's all you need. Sometimes it's just that little bit of a push.
It was a lot of a push. I got to say, I liked it, but I don't know, especially now that I have a heart condition. I don't know if you guys know that. I haven't really advertised it, but I have a kind of a heart condition going on right now that I'm dealing with. So I definitely could not do anything like that right now. But down the line, I guess On the new ship, I will try it. Have you been on any of the new ships?
No, I haven't.
Have you sailed from America, or you primarily stayed just out of Australia?
No, look, we've done the Alaskan cruise. That was wonderful. That was one of our bucket list ones, even though it was cold. We had a ball on that. It's the Americans really know how to turn their shows on over there. I tell you what, with those Alaskan cruises, and I can thoroughly recommend it. I know I've got a lot of members out there that are contemplating going on one of those cruises to Alaska. Just do it, guys. You can't take your money with you. Just get out there, spend it. Forget the kids' inheritance. Just go for it, because you're going to enjoy it.
Tom, have you never seen Titanic? Icebergs? You know, they say that could never happen again because the technology is so good. But let me tell you something, Tom. That's exactly what they told the people in Titanic, word for word. Yeah, I won't be doing Alaska. I love cruising. It's my favorite thing in the world, but Alaska will definitely never be a me thing.
I'll tell you what we're looking forward to, talking about Alaska. In May next year, Sandy and I, Sandy's my wife, by the way, we're going off to do the British Isles tour. Now, I don't know whether people are aware of the geographical distances that we're talking about here, but for us to get over to England is quite a mammoth effort. We've got to fly out of Cairns into Singapore, and then Singapore across to Heathrow. And then we're going down to we're going to spend 4 or 5 days in London, and then we're going down to Southampton. And while we're there, we're going to go and actually have a look at the Titanic Museum, Sal, which I believe is absolutely fantastic. So Sandy says, "Oh, God, I hope you're not going to Jonah us by taking us there." But we'll go and have a look, and I'm sure it'll be very, very interesting, as the whole trip will be. But that trip's really good too, right around the British Isles, over to Ireland, up to Scotland, and finishing off down in Paris.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. I love Paris. That sounds like so much fun. I was at a Titanic museum down in Florida, and it was very interesting. It was a dinner. Yeah, it was like a museum, and then at the end, you actually had dinner there in a room that was themed like a Titanic room. It was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, well, our vice president, J.C. McGurk, he's from the USA, and he's encouraged me to get over to America and have a look at some of those wonderful places, particularly over there on your eastern seaboard. I'm dying to see Miami, believe it or not. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I'm dying to see it. I really am.
Learn Spanish before you go.
Okay.
There's definitely a Spanish-speaking community, especially if you leave like Miami Beach. We went to the mall there, to Mall of America, and we could not find a single person that helped us that didn't speak Spanish. And as much time as I spend down in Mexico, I don't know a word of Spanish. Well, maybe one, si, hola. That's probably about it.
And burrito.
But I do like Miami. Miami's always a lot of fun, especially Miami Beach.
What about Fort Lauderdale? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Fort Lauderdale, I love. It's like a mini Miami without the actual big city, but it's a beautiful. It's very close. It's only like a half hour from Miami, and if you're going to Miami, I definitely recommend a trip to Fort Lauderdale. The cruise port out of Fort Lauderdale is so easy to get in and out of as well. Miami is huge, a lot more ports. They do have their stuff together, but it's not nearly as easy to get out of on a cruise as it is at Fort Lauderdale or even Cape Canaveral. Port Canaveral is extremely easy as well. But Miami, it's different.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
It's their own thing. It's like their own little Cuban part of America. It's wonderful. I love Miami, but for cruising, I definitely prefer Port Canaveral or Fort Lauderdale as far as the ease of getting in and out of the ports.
Okay. Yeah, well, look at Sydney. We have in Australia, everyone knows Sydney, the Opera House and the Harbour Bridge, but the maximum ships that we can have in our harbour, only 2 at a time, which is a pity, because Captain Cook, when he came here originally, said 1,000 ships could fit in Sydney Harbour end to end. But
really?
Yeah. But it's a huge harbour. It's just that we don't have the infrastructure there to handle a large number like you've got in Miami.
How far are you from Sydney?
We're at 2.5 hours flying time. So yeah, it's to get to any port. We've got a fair distance to fly. Brisbane's our closest port. Cairns, which some people may know in far north Queensland, also has a number of cruise ships leave there as well. And then there's Fremantle. I don't know whether people have heard Fremantle in Western Australia, but it's just coming back online with cruising after 7 years of hardly having any cruise ships. And that'll be great because Sandy and I just did a cruise up the west coast of Western Australia just recently, and it's fantastic. It's a wonderful part of the world. You get right up into the Kimberley areas, which is very, very remote, places like Broome, and then you come on back down to Geraldton and places like Exmouth. It's just a really wonderful part of the world, and it's very different to anything else.
Very cool. I definitely have to get down there. It's been a dream of mine. We have 2 bucket list trips here, and one is to go to Australia, and the other is to go to Africa. And someday we're going to get them both. Admittingly, I used to work for an airline, so I flew for free, which I should have visited those 2 countries when I was flying free, but instead we went to Europe a lot. I definitely would have to get down there. Well, Tom, thanks for being on the show. We're going to start some trivia, and I will send you. We got some things working together, which we'll be announcing in the next few days, and I'll be in touch with you next week, and we'll start going over some of the details on that.
Thanks, Sal, and goodbye to everybody.
All right, talk to you soon, Tom. Guys, if you're not subscribed to or not haven't joined Tom's Facebook group, I definitely recommend it. It gives you a little bit of a different insight than what we have in our Facebook group because it's from folks primarily that are in Australia, and they definitely view cruising a little bit different than we do. And it's always unique to see that perspective. Before we start trivia, we are going to go over one more announcement that Coke made recently. It's not tremendously new, but I bet some of you don't know it. So it's just a real quick 49-second spot. That is right. If you haven't guessed it, Coke is back on Carnival Cruise Lines by popular demand. I remember when they went with Pepsi, and it was not a good thing. People have been wanting Coke back. Pretty much every cruise I've ever been on, they wonder why you can't get a rum and Coke on board. It has to be a rum and Pepsi. So Coke is back on board Carnival Cruise Lines. Let me know what you guys think about that in the chat. I'm curious. Did you prefer Pepsi? Do you prefer Coke? I feel like since there's so many bars on board, bars need Coca-Cola, not Pepsi. I personally like Pepsi better as just a regular soft drink, but I feel like on board a cruise ship, Coke is probably much better. So we're going to do a little bit of trivia, and then we're going to talk about hurricane coverage as well. Now, the way trivia works, and I know I told you at the beginning of this video, if you want to play trivia with us and you're watching us on Facebook, switch over to the YouTube channel. You can get there with the link on your Facebook channel that you're watching now, or if there's no link, go to youtubedestinations.com. That will take you directly towards our YouTube channel. You have to, in order to play trivia, you have to actually be watching on YouTube. Otherwise, when I see your comment, I won't know who you are, so I won't be able to give you credit for the win. And we will be selecting one of our winners today for a free t-shirt as well. Just going to pick that person by random. And the way trivia works is I will read you a question and then I'll wait for an answer in the chat. Just put your chat in there. You can Google the answer if you want. And since I'm telling that to everybody, it makes it just as fair for everybody. If you want to Google the answer, you're more than welcome to. The winner for each question will be the first person with the correct answer that I see on my screen. Due to the nature of the internet, when you put an answer in, it's going to show on your screen right away. But that doesn't take into account for everybody else's answers that actually have to go through the internet and come back, because on their screen, it's going to show they put the answer in right away. Where my funnel, everything comes directly to me. It can be a better view on who actually typed it first, because I'll get that answer first on my screen. So whoever put it on my screen first, that will be the person who wins that question. So let's start with question number 1. By the way, this is 80s trivia. It's not cruise trivia, just 80s trivia, your general 80s knowledge. Question number 1. What does VHS stand for? What does VHS stand for? Let's see. And while we're waiting for that, I'll put some of these on here. Ashley says Coke is better. The Johnson's Coke Zero, please. Michelle likes Pepsi better. Even at a bar, though, Michelle? And Rhonda likes Pepsi better as well. My question is the same for you. Even at a bar, do you think that's the correct? All right, and we do have an answer, and it is the Traveling Johnsons. Video home system. That is correct. All right. Good job, John and Christina, my buddies. Number 2, what was the most popular video game of the 1980s? The most popular video game of the 1980s. Michelle got video home system correct as well. So did Rhonda, but the Traveling Johnsons had it first. What is the most popular video game of the 1980s? Rhonda says it's Pac-Man. It is not Pac-Man. It is not Pac-Man. Cue back up the music. It is not Tetris. Funnelheads, my buddies over at Funnelheads, who, by the way, also has a great YouTube channel. We're going to be doing some things with them, and they will be doing a live video with us as well. So if you're not subscribed to Funnelheads, I will put their link in the description down below as well after this video. Make sure you head over there and subscribe to their channel. And let's see. It is not Tetris. It is not Mortal Kombat. It is not Donkey Kong. Come on, guys. You're missing the biggest one ever. I'll tell you what, though. It is from Donkey Kong, but it's not Donkey Kong. Funnelheads has it correct. It is Mario Brothers. Mario Brothers was the best-selling video game. All right. Let's do another question, then we're going to talk about hurricane season. What ancient Chinese toy was repopularized in the 1980s? I'll give you a hint. It involved beans. Beans. That's right, beans. What Chinese toy was popularized in the 1980s? And it had beans. I'm loving this new system, by the way. I'm curious, does this microphone sound clear? Is it better than the microphone that I had beforehand? Let me know in the chat, because I'm curious. All right, we have an answer. It is not the beanbag, but it is, in fact, Funnelheads. It is the hacky sack. Nice job. All right, we're going to get back to some more trivia, but it is hurricane season, so we're going to talk about hurricane season with a couple of videos that'll give you some more information on hurricanes.
Today, we're here to talk about hurricane season. Hurricane season is normally designated from the beginning of June until the end of November, with most hurricanes right in the middle. Now, booking your cruise during hurricane season can be a gamble. You're going to have lots of flexible travel plans, which we're going to talk about soon. But first of all, the very first thing you have to do if you're going to book during hurricane season, and by the way, you should have it during the other seasons as well, but typically during hurricane season, is buy travel insurance. Travel insurance is offered through most of the major cruise lines. And for you, I have a link in the description of this video where we've worked out a discount with insuremytrip.com. They have lots of great programs, and you can pick and choose which you want. You get a discount, and it also supports our channel. Now, booking your cruise during hurricane season can be good and bad. First of all, there's a lot of great itineraries out there, and the pricing for your cruise is typically a lot lower during hurricane season for obvious reasons. But as I said, you're going to want to make your plans fluid. When hurricanes are in the area, lots of things can happen. Your cruise could be canceled completely. Your cruise could be delayed a day or two from going out from its original embarkation port. And as your cruise ship is traveling out in general, you may have to switch ports, delay timing in your ports, and even may have a completely new itinerary altogether. So know going in that travel plans during hurricanes are always fluid. Okay, let's talk about arriving at your port. First of all, if you're driving to your port, you want to make sure that you park your car someplace safe that has enclosed walls. Funny story for me, I drive a Hummer. It's in mint condition. A few years back, we were in Port Canaveral going out, and we knew that there was going to be a hurricane in front of us on the way back. But when we returned back to Port Canaveral, the hurricane had already came through and literally destroyed most of the town. It was a major hurricane. I went back to the hotel where I had parked my Hummer, which had no walls and was right along the beach, and every exterior piece of metal on that Hummer needed to be replaced from all the wind and the sand blowing around. A tree branch went through part of it. I ended up driving it all the way back to Ohio, but believe me, the Ohio body shop had no idea what could have possibly happened to this car. Every piece of metal had to be replaced. So that's my first piece of advice to you, is park your car someplace safe that if a hurricane were to come through, hopefully you'll still have a car to come back to when you get off of your cruise. As before, we talked about flexibility with your plans. Remember, you are traveling during hurricane season, so you may be notified last minute by the cruise line that your cruise has been canceled. Or you may be notified that your cruise may be delayed a few days if the last voyage had a hurricane to deal with and they may be stuck out at sea an extra few days. So before you head to the port, always double check your communications from the cruise line. Make sure nothing has changed on your end so you don't get to a port and have no cruise ship there. Next, let's talk about what happens once you're on the cruise ship and we find out that there's going to be a major hurricane in the area. All of the major cruise lines now have a technologically advanced operations center. That operations center is constantly monitoring the seas for not only just hurricanes, but any type of weather conditions that could possibly pose a risk to your cruise ship. And from there, they can literally control everything on the cruise ship. You name it, they could even drive that ship right from the operations center on land. God forbid something happened to the crew and you needed to get home. Now, that operations center is in constant communications with the captain and bridge crew on board the cruise ship. And if there is any way to make it so that your cruise ship can avoid those hurricanes, they will. And unfortunately, this may mean that your port times may change, or you may skip ports or have no ports at all. Remember, always remember that you're the one who chose to book a cruise during hurricane season, and the plans are always fluid. You can be out at sea and have a hurricane in the area and be 25 miles away from it, and where you're at, it's sunny and blue skies, 100 degrees and perfect weather. And just because you can't see the bad weather that might be right next to you, know that the cruise ship can, and they're doing their very best to avoid it for you. But the takeaway from this is things can and often do change on cruises during hurricane season. Okay, next we're going to talk about what to expect if you're on board your cruise ship and you're stuck in a place where you have no choice but to endure a hurricane that goes right over top of you. I have some experience with this. Several years ago, there was a major hurricane going through New Orleans, and we were traveling out of New Orleans. And if you've gone through New Orleans on a cruise ship, you know that you have to travel down the Mississippi River about 5 hours to get to the Gulf of Mexico on the way out, and vice versa. On the way in, you've got to travel up the Mississippi River to get back into port. Well, we left port, everything was normal. We had several Mexican destinations, and the captain came on and said, unfortunately, there is bad news. There is a hurricane coming up behind us, but the good news is that we should have plenty of time to get back to New Orleans, and the hurricane would hit the next day. Everything was great. We went through the mouth of the Gulf of Mexico, and we get about halfway through, and the captain comes on board, and he says,
well, folks, we have bad news. In preparation for the storm, the Mississippi River has closed to all marine traffic.
So now we are stuck in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico, And the storm is now at the only place, the opening of the Gulf of Mexico, the only place we could possibly retreat to get out. May I say we had 4 extra days at sea where the hurricane went directly over top of us. Even the eye of the storm went over top of us. It was scary. But in my opinion, it was also a lot of fun. We didn't know if we were going to live or die, but I'm weird that way, I guess. Me and my wife, we thought it was great. So now we're going to talk about some of the things that the cruise is going to do to make your stay on board during that event as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're going to expel the stabilizers. Ships have stabilizers. They're kind of like wings that extend out the sides of the ships, so that as the water passes over them, it can try to make the seas a little less rough. Now, obviously, during a hurricane, stabilizers aren't going to do it. You're not going to have calm seas no matter what you do. I remember on the one we were on, when you were looking out the window, the horizon was at the bottom of the window 1 second and at the very top of the floor-to-ceiling window the next second. Stabilizers will help a little bit, but be prepared for very rocky seas. The next thing they're going to do is they are going to chain lock the doors, all of the exterior doors to the cruise ship, including locking the cabin doors if you have a balcony stateroom. There is no access to outdoors on the cruise ship for obvious reasons. It's windy, winds can be blowing well over 100 miles an hour, and the waves are unbelievably high. So if anybody were to fall overboard, the odds of you being found are very, very slim. So they're going to lock all the doors exterior to the cruise ship. The next thing that's probably going to happen is you're going to hear the captain come across the loudspeaker. I know cruise lines do get a rap for captains not being very forward and talking about the information when things can go wrong. In this case, it's going to be just the opposite. The captain is going to brief you of exactly the weather conditions, the stability of the ship, where you are, and what the likelihood of the storm passing in a timely manner is. Another thing that they do on a lot of cruise ships is open up the internet so that it's free for everybody to use, as well as the phone system so it's free for everybody to use, so that you can call home, let people know that you're safe, make new airline reservations if the ship is expected late back into port. Now, I will warn you, the second that announcement is made, the internet becomes dead slow and the phone system becomes almost non-usable. So I'm here to tell you, set an alarm for 3, 4 o'clock in the morning when most people will be asleep, and that'll be the time for you to call home. I'm quite sure the people at home aren't going to mind you calling it a late hour to let them know that you're okay.
All right. So those are the first 2 parts. We have one more part. Before I go on, let me give the bird a cookie. He's been waiting patiently. Got it? You got it? You're not going to talk? You're not going to say nothing? Believe it or not, he talks nonstop when the camera's not on. Usually when I give him a cookie, he'll say, I got it, when he first puts it in his beak, and then he'll go, tell me he really thinks it's good. So he'll go, oh, it's good. But today he just wants to put his back to us, I guess, and do his own thing. All right, let's do a couple more trivia questions, and then I got some news to share. Question number 4. What year did the Nike slogan, Just Do It, launch? In what year did the Nike slogan, Just Do It, launch? Who knows? We do have a question as well. Why doesn't Carnival have travel insurance for residents of New York City? I didn't know they didn't. Thank you, John and Christina. I wish you could say Pretty Bird, but he doesn't know that one. All right, we are looking for, in what year did the slogan Just Do It launch? It is not 1992. You're a little high. Remember, this is 80s trivia. 80s. And Rhonda got this one. And the answer is 1988. Rhonda is one of our moderators in our Facebook group. Again, we have almost 700,000 members, and we talk cruising all day long. It's completely free. So make sure you join our Facebook group. The correct answer was 1988. Okay, question number 5. Where was the 1986 World Cup held? Where was the 1986 World Cup held? I'm not much of a soccer fan, so for me, I didn't know the answer to this. Where was the 1986 World Cup held? And forgive me for not looking directly at the camera. I'm also controlling things down here and doing the trivia. Where was the 1986 World Cup held? We have no answer, so we'll start the music again. And we have an answer more specific. Rhonda is on to it. More specific than Mexico. Where in Mexico? It was in Mexico, but where in Mexico? Where? Come on. What city in Mexico? It should be an easy one to guess. It wasn't Cozumel. What city in Mexico? Rhonda, I'm going to give you that. You said Mexico. I'm going to give that to you, but double points if you know what city in Mexico as well. What city in Mexico? Super easy. The name is in the country. Come on. I just gave it to you. Where in Mexico? It is not Brazil. It's definitely Mexico. Ken Pasco said U.S. It wasn't the U.S. What city in Mexico? I can feel the Googles Googling it. What city in Mexico? Come on, you can do it. The name is there. We got a winner. The Traveling Johnsons. It is Mexico City. So the Johnsons and Rhonda both got it on that one. All right, let's do another. In what year was the wreckage of the Titanic located? In what year did they locate the wreckage of the Titanic? I didn't know it was that far back. In what year did they find the wreckage of the Titanic? Ding, 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 ding. What year did they find the wreckage of the Titanic? It's not 1987. There's a song about this year. Rhonda got it. It is 1985. Woo! You know what I find that I like about this the most? I think it sounds better. Obviously, I haven't heard it yet, like on your side, but I can hear myself talking in the headphones. It's more reminds me of my radio station days, because when you can hear yourself in a monitor talking, you tend to speak more crisp. When Debbie's here, we won't step on each other that much because you tend not to talk over each other. But I find when I'm listening to myself, I go back to my radio days and I talk slower. One thing I always say after I'm done my videos is, God, I talk so fast. I don't know why I do that. But when I'm listening to myself, I tend to talk a little slower. So Ashley's about 40 minutes late on that one. It's not Centipede, Ashley, but good try. It was, in fact, 1985. So I have an announcement. And by the way, the t-shirt today is going to Funnelheads. The Funnelheads, you get today's t-shirt. I will be in contact with you because we're going to set up our time for our live interview. And I got all the information to send your t-shirt out as well. So the t-shirt's going to Funnelheads. So I know I'm going to come off as the boy who cried wolf. This has been, as you guys all know, this has been an extremely tough couple of years for my household, between medical issues I have, medical issues of family medical issues. It's just been a very tough year. And I know I keep saying I'm going to be back more and more. And then something else comes up which prohibits me from being here as much as I would like to be. One of the things we did to try and fix that was we did some narrator videos where I used a narrator voice. I wrote the script and edited it, but a narrator would do it. We're still going to be doing some of those, but we're going to be getting a little bit away from those and going back towards live videos with me actually in the video and narrating the video as well. Now, the news. I'm going to be making a lot more of them, and I'm going to be back with you full time. I no longer work outside the home. My health issues are good. There are some folks here at the house that still have some health issues, but with me being home full time, I'll be able to help with that and make more videos. And the reason why I'm able to do that is I have a new job starting Monday morning, bright and early, where I am now an official Carnival employee. So that will give me a lot more time here in the studio, a lot more time to bring you guys the latest news and information. Some of the things that we have planned, we're going to be doing a morning 5-minute news brief where every morning, I believe at 11 o'clock, it's either going to be 10 or 11, we're going to bring you headlines on the travel industry with a weight of cruise, but other travel industry news as well every morning, where we go over just some headlines and some brief information on each story from the last 24 hours. And we plan on doing that every weekday. I'm not sure if we're going to do weekends as well. And then, of course, throughout the week in the evenings, we will bring you deep dive videos based upon those news stories, as well as some deep dive stories, kind of like Netflix style. I'm working on a documentary as we speak on the grandfather who dropped his baby off the cruise ship. That should be available here in the next few weeks. It's an hour and 15 minutes long. And it's a deep dive documentary. So we're working on lots of great things that we're going to be bringing to you. And I'm real proud to once again be an official Carnival employee. And I want to thank Carnival for taking me on. It's a dream working for a company that I love so very much. So that's that. And that's our video for today. I'm going to leave you with the third part of the hurricane video, which goes over some more hurricane information. But I want to thank you guys for bearing with me. I've been fortunate enough to have this channel for, I think, 8 or 9 years now. And this last 2 years has just been an absolute nightmare, but we've gotten through it together. And you guys haven't left me. I still have about 70,000 subscribers on here, and it grows every day. Our Facebook group, which is where I put most of my attention over the last year because it's just easier with everything that's going on, has almost 700,000 members. And thanks to our great moderators and staff over there, it's drama free and it's just positive cruising communication all day long. So I can't thank you guys enough for the opportunity you guys have given me over the last 8 years and staying with me. And the future is bright. Things are calm down here. I will be at home working during the day on Carnival duties, as well as getting videos done. And it should just be a great time. And we are back. And I know I sound like the boy who cried wolf, but I promise you this time it's different. I will be here and I will be working on your videos. And I just can't tell you how much I appreciate all of you. So that's my video for today. We're going to end with some more hurricane information, and I'll see you guys next time up on the Lido deck.
Going back to movement again, the ship is going to be very, very wavy. They're not going to put fine china out because just about anything you set down, they're going to want you to hold while you're eating because it will go flying off the tables right away. And the reason I tell you this is because seasickness will become a thing for many passengers. The good news is that the cruise line does keep a supply of Dramamine, and at least on the cruise I was on and several other cruises that got caught in hurricanes that friends of mine have been on, they do pass the seasickness medication out regularly and at no charge. The other thing passengers worry about is food. We were on board for 4 extra days, and people were wondering, are we going to run out of food? Well, I'm here to tell you that cruise lines carry about a week of food backup, so the odds of you running out of food are very small. They've had issues in the past where they have run out of food, and they've learned from those mistakes, and they keep an extra supply of food on. And then they can also have, providing the storm is at a low point, they can have additional food flown on board by helicopter as well. But it's usually not necessary because the cruise line does keep a large supply of food, enough to last for about a week extra at sea. Also, talking about large waves and things flying off the tables, a lot of cruise lines are going to switch to plasticware. So you're not going to have those fine china and silverware and glass cups. A lot of them will switch to plasticware. That way, if something does fall off the table, it's not going to break or cause any major damage. And they may remove actual furniture and glass tables and photos that are on the walls and things of that nature and put them underneath the ship in the crew area where they can be stored in a way where there won't be any damage to them from the rockiness of the ship. And then lastly, and I haven't really heard of this happening, during hurricanes, but it could happen is you could be confined to your cabin. If things become dangerous out in the open areas, it's possible that a cruise ship could ask you to please stay in your cabin until the worst is over. Again, I haven't seen that, but it is on several cruise lines' list of things that possibly could happen. And then you also want to prepare for possibly staying out at sea extra days. It's very possible. It happens to me. It happens all the time. If that hurricane is moving the same direction as you, or it's in your path and you can't get around it in time, it's very possible you may get extra days at sea. Now, the good side to this is you're going to get free time on a cruise ship, especially if the hurricane is in front of you in your path and not directly over top of you. And most VIFP and other loyalty programs will give you points for those days as well, even though you didn't pay for them. And then the last piece of information I'm going to give you to choose is that I typically don't buy my airline from the cruise line because, well, let's face it, it's cheaper. I get to pick my own air times. I can come in a couple days beforehand if I like. But I will tell you this. The one time I was stuck out at sea 4 days later, people were scrambling to call their airlines and try and get air information taken care of. It was almost impossible for most of them. That one time, for some reason, I did buy my air through the cruise line. And I was lucky enough that there was just an envelope in my cabin, had all of my information on it for my flights. We were even allowed to use the cruise ship in New Orleans as a hotel for a day or two if we wanted to. And Operations Center took care of that behind the scenes, all of my modes of transportation home. So if you're traveling during hurricane season and you're concerned, then I would definitely recommend possibly booking your airline through the cruise line.